morning. Welcome. The weather outside is also saying good morning as well. We're going to say a little prayer that the Wi-Fi and the power stays on. If you lose me in the middle of everything, that's because the weather is not cooperating this morning. So, if you do not know me, my name is Sandra Waldrop, and you are watching Kingdom Acres. Welcome to my segment on Craft Round the Clock. Today I have a very precious little craft for you to start your day with, something that I haven't seen done very much, if at all, here recently. Good morning, Miss Patty. So, you guys can kind of see here, I've got a glass bowl. This is a heat-proof glass bowl that can be baked in and stuff. And inside, I have corn husks. Okay, no, we are not making tamales. I love tamales and I make them every Christmas season, but we are not making tamales today. What we are going to be making are corn husk dolls. If you read the description, you already knew that. But okay, so I've been soaking these in water just for maybe 10-15 minutes or so. I put my bowl of water in the microwave and just microwaved the water for a couple of minutes, and so I'm just trying to kind of let that steep a little bit. I've still got some dry areas that didn't quite get soft yet. So, oh, good morning, Miss Patty. Good morning, Teresa. Thanks for being here. I know, from Tennessee. Wow, what time is it in Tennessee right now? Good morning, Miss Beverly. So yeah, if you hear any banging and clanging, my kids are not awake yet, but the weather is, and it is angry. We keep having a bunch of thunder, and I'm sure here any minute my daughter's dog, who has weather anxiety, will come running in here, probably knocking over my tripod, and just, you know, being all scared. Oh, good morning, Kefany. Good morning, Janie. So, you know, it's just one of those things. I was not expecting there to be crazy weather like this morning, but we're just gonna keep on trucking, and hopefully it'll work out. Hopefully it'll work out. Yeah. Yes. So these are last year's corn husks that I didn't use for all of my tamales. Okay, so y'all are the same time zone for where I'm at here in Texas. Does Texas have two different time zones? No, maybe it does. I think it actually does. Yes, it does, because when we lived in New Mexico, El Paso was on the same time zone as us, and they are an hour behind us. So it's 6:30 over there right now. And so, you just never know. Good morning, Miss Lisa. Good morning, Cindy. Okay, so corn husks. If you are able to make tamales, always choose tamales. Good morning, my honey. But this morning, since I have old corn husks, and we actually ended up giving some of our tamales to the chickens, because I made too many last year, and my kids were tamaleed out. So there were some favorites that definitely got eaten through, but there were some that just didn't get eaten in time. So They went to the chickens. We just turn them into eggs. That's what we do with all of our food that we don't get to in time. We just turn it into eggs. That's what I like to say. All right, so I'm going to pull out 4 corn husks, okay? And I'm just kind of patting off the water a little bit just so that it's, you know, still soft but not dripping wet. And you want to keep it with the natural curve of what it wants to do, and just lay it down flat. Let's see here. Which way do you want to be? I think you naturally go that way. Okay. So we've got 2 here, and I'm going to do 4 of them. Okay. I want them to be good size though, so that one's going to be used for a different part. Good morning, Be So Creative. Lisa's pretty little things. Good morning, Miss Pamela, Miss Mary. So glad to have y'all here. I apologize for missing comments. For the past few lives, I try to go back like right after the live and look at comments and respond to any that I may have missed. And I'm noticing that there are comments that I should not have missed, but it didn't come through on my end. So I promise I'm not trying to ignore anybody. It's just not showing on my end sometimes. It's kind of like a Facebook lottery system, I guess. Miss Kimmery, oh, good morning. Eventually I will learn the names. I'm more likely to learn your name if you have a pet. if I meet your dog, I'll be like, oh yeah, that's the golden retriever named, you know, Duchess, her owner. And then I'll have to think to really remember your name. But animals, for some reason, I have no problem remembering. Okay, so I've got my 4 here. I'm just going to move this off to the side. I've still got some stuff on here from last night. I just kind of shut everything off last night and went to bed because I felt like I should go ahead and go to sleep since I had to be up early this morning, but I didn't do that great of a job because I started watching, you know, other lives, and then I checked my email and I had some exciting news, which I won't share just yet, but that made it hard for me to sleep, and so it was just... Okay, so I laid these down and kind of staggered them, all right? You see how they're just kind of staggered on here. No real rhyme or reason to why or how, but I'm just going to kind of roll these up now, okay, to where it looks like a tamale. And then I'm actually going to use, this was the little wire thing off of my light kit from last night, and I'm just going to use this little twisty piece of wire here. I also brought a little thing of twist ties. You know when you buy the little oh, good morning, Miss Sharon, thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. Every time she's your quality control chef. That's hilarious. You know when you buy like the bags that they put cookies in, like the plastic bags, the cellophane type bags, like the decorative ones for parties, or not just cookies, but you can do like little goodie bags and stuff, and they usually come with like a bunch of these twist ties. I usually just throw the twist ties in a drawer because I usually end up using ribbon of some sort. Oh, good morning from the other end of Brazoria County. Yes, ma'am. Oh, goodness. All right, so I've got it wrapped like this, and I am just going to, I hope it's tight enough. If not, we'll have to start over, but it's okay. So I'm just going to pull it up pull all of these pieces up, and I'm going to try not to tear them, but if they do tear, it's not that big of a deal because it's just not that big of a deal. Corn husks are kind of notorious for tearing, and I might have to tear this one just to get it to do what I want it to do. All right. Yep. We're just going to tear it on up, and that'll be fine. All right. Good. Oh, thank you so much, Miss Kethany. That is so sweet of you to say. I appreciate that. All right. I'm just pulling this down and around and apart. And it doesn't really look like much just yet, okay? But this part on top, this is going to be our head to our doll, okay? And at some point I'm probably going to need to dry this just to, because we're going to be making her fancy. That's just who I am. We gotta make her fancy. Good morning, Miss Irma. Good morning. Ellen, Lisa, good morning. Thanks for stopping in. I hope you like the sound of thunder because that's what's going on in my background, and it is not a sound effect that I organized. It's just going on its own outside. It is not a movie playing in the background. All right, so that's how she's looking, all right? And these twist ties are a little short, but if you have like some pliers, you can probably get a real tight twist on these, you know, because you can grab it easier. All right, then we are going to pull off another one of these. And if you have string, you don't have to just use one of these. Good morning, Miss Ellen. You don't have to just use a twist tie. You could use string, yarn, like any number of things. Any number of things. There's just like, sky's the limit. Just anything you want to use to really tie that down. Whatever is going to be easiest for you and whatever you have on hand is perfectly fine. All right, I'm just going to kind of fold this over, and I'm going to find a middle spot to stick her arms up in there, right? Those are her arms. And then I'm going to put my other twist tie. Okay, I'm making it to where this is her front. So I'm going to twist it in the back same way I did the top one. Oh, good one. Oh, so sweet. I love it when y'all talk to each other. What does everybody have planned today? I know we have a gazillion things planned. My daughter has meetings, as I mentioned last night, and now I have some computer work to do. And oh, and I was just reading about my daughter's competition that she'll be going to. So we are going camping next week. The plan was to go camping all next week, but my daughter made it to state with 4-H, and her competition is on Thursday, a great few hours from where we are camping. Good morning, Miss Patricia. So we are going to camp as long as we can camp, and then Wednesday we are going to have to go ahead and load up and leave and go to College Station for my daughter's competition, which when we were at district, I was like, sweetheart, I really want you to do well in this competition, but I don't want you to make it to state. So if you could please just like shoot for 4th or 5th place, so you still get a ribbon, but you don't go to state. She was laughing at me. I was like, shoot for Mount Everest, not quite the stars. She was laughing. Miss Anita, good morning. Aw, thank you, Kefany. So I've got my little doll, and now I'm going to make her just a little wrap. And I've got a big piece that I'm just gonna tear, and then I'm gonna wipe it off because it's still been sitting in that water. And it doesn't have to be boiling water, but you want it pretty hot so that it'll really soften these corn husks fairly quickly. All right, now I'm just going to, I want to cover up these twist ties as best I can, And we're going to put some other little things on her. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to plug in my dryer so that my hot glue gun will work. My hot glue gun's already heated up, but I need to plug in my dryer. All right. I just want to dry it back here so that it'll stick when I hot glue it. And this is usually more of a fall type decor item. However, I feel like it really ties in very well with the Americana look. And right now is the time that people are harvesting their corn, right? If you planted corn in the spring in Texas, right now is when you're harvesting. I've got a few, I only planted one row because I've never been able to get corn to actually grow, and they all took off, and so I have like 9 corn plants, and so I've got about one corn on each stalk of on each stalk plant. So I will be harvesting those soon, probably before we leave to go camping, because if not, they're probably going to die. I'm not sure how it's going to go with me being gone. I'm super nervous for my garden. I'm super nervous to leave just because of my garden. I know that the animals will be fine. We have very competent friends and people that we can rely on. This may or may not be dry enough, but we're going to go ahead and try it. As far as the animals go, you know, in Texas, if you need somebody to watch your animals for you, throw a stone and see where it lands, and that person's probably just fine to feed your livestock and, you know, whatever else you have, because people just know about that stuff here. But when it comes to gardening, that's a whole other situation, because not everybody knows about what it takes to be successful with a garden, have a good harvest. And so like things like consistent watering, that's pretty important. But like tomatoes, you want them to have time to not always be wet. They do not like to have their roots wet constantly. So they've got to have the consistent watering, but not as much as the others. So you're gonna water the same time, but not as much. So they have time for that water to drain off, if that makes sense. Good morning, Mr. Joshua, good morning. So this is where we're at. That's where we're at. She's got her little wrap on, looking all bundled up, super cute. Okay, now I'm going to, now I'm gonna get the Mod Podge out. Okay, this is where it's gonna get interesting. I like to put a little bit of a flair on my things, right? And I love for everything to smell like cinnamon and coffee. That's very important to my life. So I'm just going to go around the bottom of her dress here, and because I'm going to put coffee, instant coffee, on the edges of her dress. Gotta have my flair, right? Can't ever just do anything normal or regular. All right. So, not wanting to. I'm down far enough that my fingers won't reach. Okay. So I'm just going to sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle on the bottoms of my dress here where I coated it with the Mod Podge. All right. And see where I missed some. And I don't want it to be too consistent. I want it kind of, see that, just kind of blotchy on there, because that's going to dry looking, you know, more aged. And then up here, it's down there. I brought other things to the table. Oh, good morning, Miss Pamela. Oh. Bending over with my 40-year-old back. It's raining outside now. Okay. I've got my my coffee stained little piece of cheesecloth here. Okay. And then I also have my other pieces of coffee stained fabric. And we're just gonna look through and see what we want here. I really like the blue flower, and I like the homespun, or even the black and white checker. What do y'all think I should put on her? I'm just doing little embellishments on her. So what do y'all think? What are we thinking here? I'm not really liking the red flower. I just feel like it's too bright. And the green could work. I don't know. What do y'all think? I don't know. Oh, good morning, Miss Vera. I'm thinking maybe the black would work. And we could even go over her little wrap with like another layer here. Let's do that. Not Mod Podge. Hot glue. Hot glue. And this is still a little damp, so I'm just gonna keep trying, and then if any spots give me trouble, we'll just have to dry it and then go back and redo it. But okay, so that's how she's looking with her little fabric topper there. All right, and then I may just I'm gonna cut her a little apron. The blue flowers, yes, I love the blue flowers too. Isn't that so pretty? I could actually add some of that on here, because when I think of who this little lady is, she probably has, you know, I'm thinking of, like, you know, I grew up in southern New Mexico, on the border of Mexico, where we would go into Mexico to like have lunch. And this was before they required like passports or, you know, the card or anything like that. And so that culture is still very much alive in my heart. And it's not that culture, it's my culture, okay? Because I am Hispanic on my mother's side. And so when I think about this, I really it really touches me deeply, because this primitive craft is part of my culture and it's part of my heritage. And so I think about the women who would wear something like this historically, and they would have, you know, mismatched fabrics and things like that. So I'm just gonna cut that and stir it. So she doesn't need to be super like matchy or anything like that, and like this part kind of needs to be re-glued. And I love doing crafts like that just have so much sweet, sweet, meaningful, you know, aspects to them, where I can look at that and say, I made that, and that's part of my heritage, you know? You know what I mean? That's how she's looking right now. Let's see what we want to do here. I can make her a little belt. Okay. First, I think I'm going to make her an apron, and I am going to use the blue. I'm just going to cut a little rectangle. I'm thinking, y'all. Good morning, Miss Kelsia, Barb, Shauna. Good morning, Tanya. Welcome, welcome. What's everybody doing today? It kind of sounds like the weather might be moving along, but it's like super duper dark out in my yard. Like I can't see the trees right in front of my house, so I'm not entirely convinced that the storm is over. So we shall see. Looks like the Wi-Fi is still working, praise God. Oh, yes, Jenny, yes. Jenny still lives where we grew up. She is my high school best friend, cousin to my husband. She introduced me to my husband, and she still lives over there, in like fully engulfed in the culture. And I know that Texas has its own Hispanic culture, but truthfully, it is much different than what it is in New Mexico. It's sunny and hot there. Good morning, Miss Erin. Good morning. Good morning. So it is very different, but that's okay, right? Because here, south of Houston, the Hispanic culture that we have comes from a different part of Mexico, right? It's more Brownsville area, part of Mexico, so it's more coastal. Obviously, New Mexico has no water except for the little lakes and streams, but it's mostly desert from my experience. All right. Oh, really? Really? You've got rain coming too, Miss Esmeralda? Oh, gloomy, rainy day. Oh, going to visit your mom? That's exciting. That's sweet. All right. So that's a little apron for her right there. I'm just going to hot glue this on first, and then I will do a layer of that cheesecloth over this, and then we'll do her belt over that. And that'll give her a little bit of something, a little something something. Let's see here. I'm just going to, yeah, that looks good. Can y'all see what I'm doing? I touched that Mod Podge. got that. All right. Okay. And now my belt. And I'm going to, you can hot glue this or you can just tie it. It is entirely up to you. I'm going to even this out and then I'm going to tie it. Give her a little bow on the back just so she feels fancy. All right. Look at how cute she is. Look at that. All right, so I want her to stand up, right? And she's not really wanting to stand. So what did I do with that? This is out of my freezer paper roll, right? I have to buy a lot of freezer paper because I use it to do my crafts on, but also that's what you use to iron your fabric on if you're going to print on it, like what I did to make my little dolls up here, my little Colonial dolls. And I'm gonna have to make some more of those. Those turned out so cute. All right, I'm just gonna measure her, see how far I want it, and then I'm just gonna use my tin snips here. I love these things. They just make light work of cutting just about anything. And I love them. Love them, love them. Okay. All right. So I've got my little tube here. And let's see. I've not tried this yet, but this is what I had going in my mind, is that I would stick this in there. Okay. And that's going to give her, let me bring it down just a smidge. Okay. That's going to give her a little something. Now she can stand. Look at that. Yes, it is Cornhusk. And as I was saying earlier, if you have a choice between making tamales or a doll, always choose tamales. But if you have old tamale husks that you didn't get to make your tamales with, you can make the cutest little primitive doll for your display. And it's so, oh my goodness, can you believe how cute she is? Look at how adorable. You can do all of your little embellishments. You could even, okay, you could even, and I had this idea, but I would have to really work on it. But if you made the prairie dresses, right, that I just made some the other day for my washboard. I made the micro mini ones, but you could make some this size. You can make your little Cornhusk doll and then put the prairie dress on her. Wouldn't that be amazing? That would be so adorable. And I may do that. I may do that. And if I do, I'll post pictures. If you do, please post pictures. Yes, they do. They make them in Mexico. Aren't they just adorable though? I did the coffee, the instant coffee on the bottom. I think I might add some cinnamon just for why not, because it's still wet. I could still add a little bit of cinnamon down here just to give it that little bit of extra flair. A little bit of something. If you had buttons, even, you know, a star, a safety pin, a rusty safety pin, you could put that on her. You could put, goodness, there, like, sky's the limit. Sky is the limit. And I, oh, thank you, Miss Beverly. Thank you. Milan, good morning. She could hold a heart. Yes. Oh, in her hands. Yes, you could absolutely hot glue her hands with a heart in the center. At Christmas time, you could make her into a little angel and put a halo on her. There are just so many things you could do with these Cornhusk dolls, and they're so easy. They are so easy. So those of you coming in, I'm going to go ahead and make one more. Let me set her back here. See if I can get her to stand. Her little tube in there. Y'all see her back there? Isn't that so cute? Oh goodness, I love her so much. She's adorable. So I'm just going to do one more real quick. I'm gonna get as far as I can before I let y'all go, because I do want to be respectful to the next presenter, but we have 10 more minutes. So I heard thunder and then I heard a creak, and I didn't know if it was like a cat screaming or a child whining or a door creaking. Oh, thank you so much, Miss Ocean Breeze and me. Love the fabric. Thank you. You can find, yes, you can find Cornhusk anywhere. Absolutely, you can. It is not hard to find at all, especially in Texas, especially. But I feel like corn is pretty abundant in the United States, so it should not be hard to find corn husks at all. Also, I know Walmart carries them. Walmart does carry them. I usually just buy them at Walmart. So if you don't have them at your local Walmart, you should be able to order it off of Walmart online and just either pick it up at your local Walmart or even have it shipped to your front door. I haven't looked on Amazon because I haven't needed to look on Amazon, because they're just available everywhere. They're available everywhere. So my youngest just woke up and she's making the mom, it's scary outside face. Did the thunder wake you up, sweetie? Yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Duchess wants your huggles. My golden retriever. My golden retriever has even got like worried look on her face. She doesn't usually panic with the weather, but I know that she does react quite a bit to our reactions. So, all right, I just stacked those, and now I'm going to use a twist tie. I've got enough twist ties left. You can use, and it would be a good idea to use just like some twine, some brown twine, because that's going to be less noticeable if you do end up having any parts of your of those visible, because this is wanting to stick through. We don't want that. All right, and then you're just going to pull everything down. Okay, and that's going to form her head again. Okay, and then if I had twine, especially for her neck, because that's hard to hide, I could see on the other one, it's not very noticeable, but I could see some of that white poking through from the twist tie. So just beware of that. All right. I did not bring any twine to the table, so I just and threw them away. Yes, they can be saved and dried, absolutely. Also, if you are growing your own corn and you are throwing away the corn silk, you are throwing away an amazing medicinal plant right there. Because It is so good for your kidneys, for your immune system, for your overall health. You just take the fresh corn silk out of the corn husk, you know, the little hairs between your corn cob and the corn husk. You take that, stick it in a jar, cover it with either 100 proof alcohol or vinegar. Put a lid on, you know, you want it tight. Oh. All right, thank you, Miss Esmeralda. We'll see you later. Put the lid on as tight as you can get it. Put it in a dark, cool cupboard for 6 to 8 weeks, and then strain it and use it. Anytime you're having issues with your kidneys or not feeling well, you can take that tincture and it is going to support your body. All right. Now for her arms, there is just so much you can do with corn. Stick that up in there. So, and that's the corn silk that you can make medicine out of. All right. And the less you put in front of her arms, the more forward they're going to stick. So be mindful of that. And you can always trim her arms down too. Like this one's pretty long. This corn husk is pretty long. So I'm just going to trim her arms up a little bit. All right. And then I'm going to get my other little twist tie here to go under her arms. Give her a little twist. This one's like a mini to my other one over there. So it is going to depend on the size of your husks as to how big your doll is going to turn out. Okay, so just be mindful of that. And then I'm just going to make her little wrap to cover up those twist ties that I used to make her. And see, you can see around her neck. I don't know how well you can see that, but it would be much better if you used twine, just at least around her neck. On the inside for her head, I really like using the twist ties because I feel like it gives you more of a secure grip on it. But around her neck, just for vanity reasons, I think that twine would be better there in that spot specifically. But you can see like the wrap is covering up her waist, so that's not a big deal. And then when we put, you know, embellishments on and everything, that'll cover that up too. You could probably put something up here around her neck as well, but if you just do twine, that's going to be good also. So that's hot. You know, I bought this little spatula thing for saving my fingers. And then I don't even pull it out to use it. This is why it's so hard for ADHD people to put things away, because out of sight, out of mind. Okay, we forget that we have these tools, and then when there's an extra step to it, it just feels impossible. Like I can't get to it, I'm live, etc., etc. If it wasn't right here in my bag super close and I had to like dig it out from somewhere, it would never come out. Just saying. Isn't she cute? And you can just leave her plain like that and just do a little piece of this tube here. Again, this came off of my freezer paper, and I'm just doing this to give her some stability so that she'll stand on her own. If you wanted to, you could glue this down to like a little wooden, like round, you know, a tiny little round. And then it would be just like an American Doll holder type thing, but for your Cornhusk doll. I'm just gonna stick this up in her, up under her dress like that. And you can glue it down, glue her down onto it if you need to. That is her just plain. That's how she looks, just plain. And I think that that's completely adorable also, just being there, natural and simple. This is something you can do with your kids, right? This is not complicated at all. This is a fun craft that can be done with all ages and super affordable, very accessible. You can find Cornhusks all over, and just absolutely adorable. So it looks like her mom, the mom and the little girl, right, together. Isn't that precious? I love it. Anyways, I am at the end of my time. I am being broadcasted today through Craft Round the Clock. So if you go, after my live ends, you go back into Craft Round the Clock, refresh your page, there will be another presenter up and ready to go. So please go ahead and do that. Thank you again so much for being here with me. And thank you for making a homemade home with me today. And y'all take care. Be safe in this weather. Bye, y'all.